Let me start with a truth you may not have heard before. The instant you try to be understood, you surrender power. Watch how this usually plays out. A man meets a woman he's drawn to. He thinks connection is built through curiosity. So he starts asking questions. Where are you from? What do you do? What kind of men do you like? He believes he's building rapport. What he's actually doing is kneeling. Every question communicates something beneath the surface. You matter more than I do. I'm here to qualify myself to you. That's not chemistry. That's an interview. And the moment a woman senses you're seeking her approval, even if she laughs, even if she stays engaged, respect quietly exits the room. Machiavelli understood this dynamic long before dating apps and coffee shops. When he wrote, "It is better to be feared than loved, if one cannot be both," he wasn't talking about cruelty. He was describing hierarchy. Psychological positioning. Attraction responds to the same laws. A man who doesn't need validation creates tension. A man who doesn't explain himself creates intrigue. A man who isn't trying to win approval becomes the one being watched. That unsettles people, in a good way. Before we go further, understand this. If this idea already makes you uncomfortable, that's not resistance, it's recognition. Stay with me, because what comes next will quietly change how people respond to you. Make sure you're subscribed. You won't want to miss how the later principles connect. Here's the part most men never realize. Asking too many questions is not neutral. It's a language, and that language translates to uncertainty. Questions say, "I care what you think of me." Statements say, "I know who I am." And attraction does not grow from comfort. It grows from curiosity. When you reveal less, she leans in. When you speak less, she listens more. When you stop trying to understand her immediately, she starts trying to understand you. That's the shift. It happens silently, not through games, not through arrogance, but through controlled mystery, what Machiavelli would recognize as the politics of desire. In this video, I'm going to show you 6 Machiavellian principles for speaking to women, strategies that reverse the dynamic without force, manipulation, or performance. By the end, you'll understand why silence, composure, and presence outperform clever lines every time. Stay until the end. The final principle is something most men never encounter because it requires letting go of habits that feel safe but quietly ruin attraction. 1. Silence controls the frame. Silence is one of the most powerful tools a man can wield, and that's exactly why so few men use it. Silence makes people uneasy, and when people are uneasy, they reveal themselves. Most men panic in silence. They fear that if the conversation slows, interest will die. So they talk, they explain, they entertain, they perform. But silence doesn't kill attraction. It creates it. The moment you stop trying to impress, the frame flips. You're no longer chasing momentum. You're setting it. You listen without urgency. You pause without anxiety. You let space exist, not because you're passive, but because you're grounded. Machiavelli believed true power showed itself through restraint. In The Prince, he warned that those who reveal too much weaken their authority. The same law applies here. When you speak only when it matters, your words carry weight. When you're comfortable with pauses, your presence fills them. Think about it. The loudest man in the room is rarely the strongest. He needs noise to feel visible. But the man who can sit calmly, unbothered by silence, shifts the atmosphere without saying a word. His stillness does the talking. Instead of asking, "So, what do?" you observe. "You don't strike me as someone who enjoys small talk." That's not a question. It's a mirror. Now she responds, not because she's being polite, but because she's been engaged. You're no longer extracting information. You're letting her reveal herself. Here's the psychology beneath it. Uncertainty activates attention. When a woman can't immediately read you, her mind stays involved. She scans, she interprets, she wonders. That tension, that unresolved curiosity, is attraction's fuel. So the next time she finishes speaking, don't rush. Hold eye contact. Let the moment breathe. Smile slightly. Say nothing. Let your stillness do the work. Because when a woman starts wondering about you, she's already investing. The moment you stop chasing understanding, when you stop performing and start observing, you become the gravitational center. Silence isn't emptiness. It's dominance, wearing restraint. 2. Never explain yourself. Few things dissolve attraction faster than unnecessary explanations. A man who constantly clarifies, defends, or justifies is unconsciously confessing something. He needs approval to feel stable. Machiavelli warned against this centuries ago. Respect does not come from being agreeable. It comes from being unshakable. In modern terms, feared doesn't mean intimidating. It means grounded, self-contained, unaffected. When you stop explaining, you send a message without words. I know who I am. And that unsettles people, especially those who expect you to bend to keep the peace. Watch what happens on a date. She challenges him. Why would you say that? He panics, softens, backtracks, explains. He thinks he's being polite. What he's actually teaching her is that his position is negotiable. Confidence doesn't argue. It doesn't rush to clarify. It doesn't tremble under questioning. Sometimes confidence is silence. Sometimes it's a calm smile. Sometimes it's standing on your words without decoration, not rude, not defensive, certain. Every time you explain yourself out of fear, you erode presence. And presence, not logic, is what draws people in. The men who leave impressions don't justify themselves. Their tone, their pace, their life. That's the explanation. Over-explaining signals instability. While men think they're showing honesty, attraction reads it as emotional imbalance. So when the urge to explain rises, pause. If she truly wants to understand, she'll ask with respect. If she's testing you, your silence answers. A man who needs to be understood is easy to steer. A man comfortable being misunderstood cannot be controlled. Machiavelli captured this perfectly when he wrote that one must be both fox and lion, aware of traps, yet unyielding to pressure. Be observant like the fox. Be firm like the lion. And never explain yourself just to be accepted. 3. Control emotion, not attention. Most men chase attention the way beggars chase spare change. They count replies. They celebrate emojis. They panic over response times. And they mistake attention for power. Machiavelli would have dismissed this immediately. In The Prince, he never praised charm, likability, or popularity. He praised control. Because power is not about who looks at you, it's about who feels something when they do. That's where attraction is decided. Most men believe attraction is built through validation, compliments, jokes, reassurance, constant availability. They think staying visible keeps interest alive. What they actually become is entertainment. And entertainers are enjoyed, then discarded. The moment a woman feels she can read you completely, the tension that pulled her toward you in the first place evaporates. Mystery dies. Gravity disappears. Machiavelli understood something modern dating advice completely ignores. People are addicted to emotional tension. Not chaos, not drama, but the pull between stability and unpredictability. That tension keeps her thinking about you when you're not there. She doesn't fall for the man who's always present. She falls for the man whose presence she can't predict. So stop trying to control her time. Stop trying to manage her attention. Control the emotional rhythm instead. You do that through tone, timing, and restraint. When she pulls away, don't chase. When she tests you, don't react. When she's emotional, don't fix. You don't solve her emotions. You contain them. That's the distinction weak men never understand. A woman doesn't want you to manage her feelings. She wants to feel that yours are unmovable, that your emotional center doesn't shift just because hers does. That's dominance, the kind Machiavelli would recognize instantly. In politics, he taught rulers to shape the emotional climate of the crowd. In relationships, the same law applies. The man who sets the emotional tone holds the frame. The man who reacts to her tone loses it. Picture this. She says, "You've been distant lately." The weak man explains, justifies, apologizes. The strategic man smiles calmly and says, "Maybe you're just used to chaos." Then he changes the subject. No argument, no defense, no emotional spike. In one move, he stays grounded while her emotions stir. Curiosity replaces certainty. Attraction replaces comfort. That's not manipulation. That's psychological intelligence. Because attraction isn't built through effort. It's built through emotional gravity. You don't earn it by being nice. You don't earn it by being available. You earn it by being centered, composed, and selectively unpredictable. Machiavelli wrote that men are driven by love or fear. In modern attraction, love begins as fascination, and fascination is born from emotional control. So never try to out-talk a woman, out-feel her. Never try to hold her attention. Shape the emotional atmosphere of your presence. When you can make her heart shift without saying much at all, the battle is already decided. Everything you say after that is decoration. The real power isn't in pursuit, it's in presence. 4. Never reveal all your intentions. Machiavelli once wrote that a ruler must learn how not to be good, not to become cruel, but to become strategic, to play the game without being played by it. This rule cuts deeper in attraction than most men are prepared to accept. Never reveal all your intentions. The moment you do, the tension collapses. Not because honesty is wrong, but because predictability kills desire. Think carefully. The second you tell a woman exactly how you feel, exactly what you want, and exactly where this is going, her mind stops working. There's nothing left to interpret, nothing left to wonder, nothing left to chase. And the human mind is wired to crave uncertainty. Obsession grows in the unknown, not in clarity. That's why Machiavelli advised leaders to appear open while thinking in secret. Not deception, discipline, calm surface, hidden depth. Men who are fully readable are never fascinating. Women may say they want honesty, but what they respond to is mystery with integrity. A man whose presence feels stable, but whose next move can't be predicted. Most men fail here. They confess too much, too early. They explain intentions they haven't even lived yet. They expose strategy in the hope of reassurance. They call it honesty. It's actually insecurity. In politics and in attraction, revealing your hand too soon destroys leverage. Machiavelli's world revolved around perception. He knew people don't follow truth, they follow timing. Illusion doesn't mean lies. It means control of disclosure. You reveal when it strengthens your position, not when emotion demands release. In relationships, this becomes emotional patience. Don't tell her everything you feel. Show fragments. Let her imagination complete the picture. Don't announce your next move. Let your actions surprise. There's a reason silence amplifies power. The man who speaks little makes his words valuable. The man who explains endlessly cheapens them. When you speak with intention, she leans in. When you over-clarify, she leans out. This law applies everywhere. Romance, business, leadership. Reveal too much, and you hand people the blueprint to your mind. Reveal too little, and you become a puzzle they can't stop trying to solve. Machiavelli understood this. Mystery sustains influence. When you can't be predicted, you must be respected. When you can't be read, you must be observed. And observation is where attraction deepens, not through availability, through restraint. Remember this: not every truth deserves immediate exposure. Not every emotion deserves expression. Keep your intentions folded, your energy calm, your strategy silent. Because the man who reveals nothing too soon controls everything that follows. 5. Make her chase certainty. Every powerful man understands this paradox. To be desired, you must create uncertainty, but never insecurity. There's a difference most men don't grasp. Confusion repels, intrigue intoxicates. Machiavelli understood this long before modern dating turned weak. Though he spoke to rulers and courts, he grasped human desire better than most lovers ever will. He wrote that men are driven by love or fear, and in attraction, the line between the two is razor thin. When a woman can't fully read you, when she senses depth she can't decode, her mind begins to work against her will. What does he really think of me? Why doesn't he react like other men? Why does his silence feel heavier than my words? That's the shift. You stop chasing her. She starts chasing certainty. But weak men ruin this immediately. They mistake intrigue for chaos. They confuse mystery with manipulation. They play mind games instead of mastering themselves. The Stoics would call this a loss of balance, temperantia. Real control is never about making someone anxious. It's about making them curious. A Machiavellian man, grounded in Stoic restraint, does not seek attention. He commands it through stillness. He stays calm when others rush to explain. He speaks selectively. His silence isn't empty. It's deliberate. And that silence drives curiosity deeper than words ever could. Most men panic at the first hint of misunderstanding. They send paragraphs. They over-justify. They flood the space with reassurance. But women don't fall for certainty. They chase it. The more you answer every unasked question, the cheaper your presence becomes. When you remain grounded, unmoved by emotional turbulence, you stand apart in a world of men who collapse under disapproval. That calm becomes magnetic. It silently communicates something dangerous. My peace is not negotiable. And that's when she begins to earn access to it. Machiavelli taught that power is preserved by appearing indispensable. In attraction, this means becoming the emotional center of gravity, not through control, but through composure. Your value grows in the space between what you say and what you withhold. A man who constantly explains himself signals insecurity. A man who lets silence carry weight signals confidence. Here's the paradox. When you stop trying to make her understand you, she will spend her energy trying to. She studies your pauses, your tone, your body language. Every glance becomes a question, every word a clue. That's attraction at its highest form. Desire is born in uncertainty. Respect is born in control. Master both, and you no longer chase. You attract. 6. Emotional control is power. Machiavelli warned rulers to learn how not to be good, not to promote cruelty, but to survive reality, because emotion is the easiest weapon to turn against you. In relationships, the rule is ruthless and simple. The man who cannot control his emotions will always be controlled by someone who can. Watch what happens when a man argues emotionally, begging, explaining, reacting. Respect erodes instantly, not because he feels, but because he's predictable. His reactions become a map. His emotions become switches. Machiavelli believed a ruler must appear compassionate while acting with calculation. In modern terms, this is emotional intelligence, knowing what you feel without letting feeling decide your actions. A man who has mastered this doesn't fight every battle. He doesn't chase resolution. He observes and responds only when it matters. His calm becomes her storm, not because he's cold, but because he's untouchable. Look around. Most men are slaves to reaction. They explode at criticism, chase when ignored, apologize for things they didn't do just to keep peace. They confuse peacekeeping with peace. The Stoics would laugh at that weakness. Seneca said, "He who conquers himself is the mightiest warrior." That's the real meaning of Machiavellian attraction. Master yourself first, then influence follows naturally. Emotional control doesn't mean suppression. It means rule. Like a king governing his domain, you decide when anger serves you and when silence is deadlier. Reacting to everything makes you small. Restraint makes you unreadable. And mystery is the seed of attraction. A woman cannot respect a man she can emotionally move at will, but she will crave the one she cannot shake. The one who listens while she vents. The one who doesn't flinch during tests. The one who smiles when others would explode. That isn't weakness. That's mastery. Machiavelli called it controlling perception. The Stoics called it governing the mind. They meant the same thing. Power begins where reaction ends. The man who reacts gives power away. The man who observes keeps it. And the man who stays calm when others lose control, he becomes unforgettable. Because the most dangerous man in the room is rarely the loudest. He doesn't raise his voice. He doesn't chase approval. He doesn't prove himself. Yet everyone leans in. That silence isn't emptiness. It's pressure. And controlled pressure is power. Charm is the weapon. Composure is the shield. Most men flood conversations with words, questions, and validation. The man who knows his worth doesn't need to impress. He lets presence do the work. Attraction isn't born from words. It's born from stillness. Marcus Aurelius said, "You have power over your mind, not outside events." Understand that, and you control every room you enter. So the next time you speak to a woman, don't fill the air, guide the energy. Speak when it adds weight. Let silence do the rest, because silence isn't empty. It's loaded. And women don't fall for the man who tries to win them. They fall for the man who doesn't need to. That's Machiavellian magnetism. That's Stoic composure. That's self-possession. And in a world where men compete for attention, the one who doesn't becomes impossible to forget.